Hello and welcome back to Misano on day 2, the final day of the official MotoGP test. The track action has just been stopped for the lunch break, which means we've only got this afternoon to go. The big news yesterday was Marc Marquez was back and fast straight away. The big news today, I feel, is although Yamaha didn't make big progress engine-wise for 22, they've been testing the 23 engines and things look really positive. We all know that Fabio's getting to the end of his tether, pushing so hard in every race, to fight the opposition off and not always making it. So this looks so good. He just did 298 kilometers an hour speed trap, second fastest. And not just that, I spoke to the team and they're pretty happy with the acceleration, which is more important even than top speed because you use it more often. So this is only their first go at it. There's more time to keep working. They're saying that this is probably the biggest step. The next steps will probably be smaller, but main thing is it's looking really positive for Fabio, for next year, for Yamaha in general, for next year. While we're still on the Yamaha subject, they haven't been trying that new chassis we saw yesterday. They've purely focused on engine comparison. I imagine they have to not only check that it can do the lap time and be fast, that it doesn't eat tyres worse than the 22. They've also got Aero. We saw it briefly, or I saw it briefly but didn't catch a photo, on Franco Morbidelli's bike yesterday. And apparently Fabio is going to check it this afternoon. It's a little bit longer, it looks like, so probably more surface area, a little bit more downforce. Let's move on. There's nothing else I've seen to tell you about Yamaha apart from that good news. Let's now move on to what I think is the second most exciting news, although it's pretty close between the others, is Honda. Not just that Marc's back, Marc's been testing a lot this morning. So is Taka Nakagami, a lot of new things, and they've got new chassis and stuff, but the main thing, I'll run through what I've seen. Look, there's two guys doing the main testing for Honda. That's Marc and Taka, because the other two are leaving. And so all of the teams don't give the 23 things to test to riders that are not going to be with them in 23, because that's giving away information for the upcoming year, that they're going to take to opposition manufacturer. So let's run through what I've seen on Marc and Taka's bike. Yesterday was pretty exciting because we saw a new wing, yesterday and today, both on Taka and Marc's bike, going on and off, so they're doing comparisons. A little bit like something I've seen in the past in Qatar from Honda, but a lot like the Aprilia front wing. That's probably the most likeliness. We're going to get run over here soon, my camera boys are. And also the bottom part of the fairing on Honda, they've got one that looks like the Aprilia. You know how it bulges and it's meant to help with stability? Well, it did on the Aprilia here. Well, Honda have got one, it's kind of a copy, like bulges out lower half. They've also got, we saw yesterday, one of those scoops on the belly pan that only Ducati have, that's meant to help turn them. So what else for Honda? The other interesting thing is Taka and Marc have a chassis that looks like a hybrid, a bit of a mix, I imagine, of all the good things that they've found on about the three other chassis that they've got. And I haven't seen this one before. Both Marc and Taka have got one. It's very similar to what Taka's been running all season, but like I said, with other parts in it. Steering head area looks different, bit less welding on it. So Honda have been doing their homework. And the other good thing is, from what I've heard, it's not confirmed, but it looks like Marc has even got the energy to have another go this afternoon. That's not confirmed, but he's looking good. He's in and out testing stuff, so very good for Honda. Let's move across to Ducati, which is probably, like I said, it's close with the others, but I'll give you the Ducati information. A few interesting things in there. Well, I thought they had nothing chassis-wise, but this morning I've spotted they've got two different chassis, and I've seen these chassis 12 months ago. But now, the thinner chassis that Jack started running late last year has a carbon fibre patch or reinforcement on it. Both Enea Bastianini, they've managed to spray it silver so it doesn't stand out, but I did spot it in there, and on Pecco's bike. So those two are this chassis I've seen, or very similar to this chassis I saw 12 months ago, but they're obviously playing, basically supporting it and playing, seeing what it does. It's in the area, that chassis beam where it turns and drops past the rear cylinder heads down towards the foot pegs. It's super thin there, and they've reinforced it. Apparently, speaking to some engineers, apparently it helps change of direction and turning in that area. So that's what they've been working on. Also with Ducati, they've got a slight Aero update. Super difficult to see. I think they've got it so good now that they're just playing with slight updates. The other really interesting thing with Ducati is their, what I think is some sort of launch control. Martin, Pero have been trying it. Who else? I think it was on one of Pecco's. No, Zacco. They've all tried it yesterday, and I've been watching today. Once I knew it was on there, what I saw was, I better get my clutch hand ready, is when Jorge Martin queued up on the grid there, he does all the rest of the device drops, you know, get the front down on the brakes, click, like a motocross thing, stays down there, turn the lever so the rear drops. Now instead of just getting ready to go, like push a launch control sort of start button, he reaches under that. It's a clutch lever covered with a big, looks 3D printed plastic cover. He reaches under there and must turn something on, because he quickly turns something, and then it's pretty much dumped that clutch. It was what it looked like, you know, off the start. So I'm sure they're working on some sort of device to help the rider get it bang on every time off the line. I think that's enough on Ducati. It's the main things I've seen. Pecco's looking great. Jorge Martin, I should mention, also made a good step yesterday with bike setup, and then got really improved his lap time. Aprilia would be the other exciting one on new parts. Yesterday we saw them playing with new Aero. You know, the wing looked exactly the same as the one they're running all season, and I think it's pretty, you know, it obviously works well. But then I got down a little bit lower, and it was like a biplane, you know, so it had a wing underneath the top wing, and easy to miss, but it's under there. Who tried it? I saw it on Salvadore's bike first, and then Alicia's in the afternoon. I dare say Maverick will have a go at it. Maverick's been going really fast, impressive fast. Alicia had a fall, I noticed. What else on there? They have another chassis as well, Aprilia, that is also playing with stiffness like Ducati. It had something, it was obviously brand new, so I asked, and the Aprilia guys are always quite straight up with me, and they said, yeah, we're playing with different stiffness, trying to help that turning and change the direction. Aprilia, anything else that I've spotted there? No, that's pretty much it now. So let's move across to KTM. KTM is the least amount of visible things I've seen, and it's not saying they're not working, because they are. Like everybody, they're trying the new engines for next year. I've been told by Francesco Guidotti, their team manager, that they are trying with Brad, not Miguel, because Miguel's off next year. So with Brad, they're trying the 23 engine, some first update. It's like a hybrid between the 22 and the 23. I knew that, and I'm glad he came out and told me, because I was going to harass him if he didn't, because I saw Brad talking about RPM and the response. I couldn't hear, but I could see him saying, you know, basically when you're upright on the straight, how it's responding. And so I knew they were playing with something engine-wise. When you look at the bike, though, it's very hard to see anything different, and Francesco confirmed that they're more playing with what they've got to squeeze everything out of it for the rest of the season. And that makes sense, because everyone's doing that. Remember Jack in Barcelona Test? He found something, just playing with what he had, setup-wise, that has made his form leapfrog up, and that's what everyone's trying to do, is find maximum about what they've got. Like Bagnaia, actually. Tardosi told me Bagnaia has played with fork settings that he's trying, that he said that was his limitation in the race here, and they're trying to find something better. So everyone, including KTM, is trying to do that, as well as work on 23 engines. There is no Suzuki here. I just thought I'd throw in that, because they left yesterday afternoon. They're not here next year. No point testing 23 stuff. That's pretty much it. Apart from that, I hope to see Mark out there this afternoon. That'll be a really good sign that he's going to be here at more this year if he can keep riding. And one other thing I'd like to say is thanks for tuning in. Keep an eye out on our MotoGP.com interviews that we do with all the riders this evening. Hopefully there's some more little tidbits in there for you to catch, and we'll see you at the next race at Aragon. Bye for now.